Welcome back to the Rules of Engagement. Before I jump into Q&A, let me remind you guys, MLG has a pro shop, but right now we have a pretty cool little track jacket you guys can go ahead and check out. Just go to MLGProShop.com, check out those track jackets and all the other apparel and accessories we have at the MLG Pro Shop. See if it's stuff that you want. It only takes a few seconds to browse that website there. Maybe there's something that would suit your fancy. Mother's Day is coming up. Maybe your mom wants something. On to the Q&A. We got a question on YouTube comments from Tobias Susan. It says, I have seen a number of past and current games where there was a transition like this by Zerg players in late game play. What is an effective step that could be taken by a player when you see a hard counter of this nature? This is referring to the Nesty versus Minigun game on Aklon Waste, where Nesty just lost his army and then built 60 Mulus at once. Minigun had Void Ray Colossi, and of course Void Ray Colossi loses to Mass Mulus, and he got crushed. So, if you're worried about insane Zerg transitions in the super late game when they have a lot of money, they can do things like build a billion units of whatever counters your competition at once. It's very important that you have try to have a diverse competition, right? As Protoss, basically, that point in the game, you need to have Templar out. You don't have to have like 30, 20 Templar, but several Templar will make your competition diverse enough that you can at least hold the Mulus off, prevent yourself from taking too much damage to transition out. That's just a fact of Protoss. Super late game versus Zerg, you have to have Templar. There's no way around it. So that's the nature of Protoss versus Zerg. As a Terran perspective, if you're dealing with those Zerg tech transitions, they can throw out maybe super late game, crank out a whole bunch of Broodlords out of nowhere, a whole bunch of Ultralists. What you want to do is Terran in the super late game. First, make sure you have plenty of planetary fortresses in that situation. Those guys will buy you time to counter their composition. The second thing is, again, try to have a kind of a diverse thing. Super late game versus Zerg Terran, I think you want to have at least some Ravens. You know, like Protoss always has to have some Templar. Terran in a super late game versus Zerg, we're talking about, 5-6 base, you want to have at least some Ravens. That way, as you can add them more against Broodlords, you can not add them more and add them Marauders against Ultralists. But no matter what, it's never going to kill you to have a few of those guys, and it can really be that little slice in your competition that makes it so much more robust against a variety of different targets. This wraps up today's episode of Rules of Engagement. Of course, stay tuned for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. There's going to be more WCS America Premier League, and again, another episode of Rules of Engagement directly after it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.